Oh boy, it's warm out today, but the wind is blowing. What's up, YouTube? All right, guys. I decided to go outside and fiddle with my cars today. Usually, when it gets real hot, you run your cold intakes on my bread and butter. I ran it all the way down to the bottom of the bumper so I can get some more air in. Today, I actually messed around with the Honda today, the Civic, and made a little short cold intake for it. All homemade except, the filter, but it's something I like to do. So I'm going to show you what I've been getting into. Alright, so again, this car is my toy. I kind of play around with it. I just ran the intake off of the box down to the filter, just a short one. Remove this is more space. My fan is on constantly so it blows air, straight into the intake. Again, I told you I removed the air conditioning unit and the bottom part, which opens up a little more air as well. This thing is no more than my toy. I just drive it around the neighborhood. I suspect it has a blown head gasket. If it is, I'll fix it one day, but for right now, I'm just gonna drive it because I think my other Civic had a blown head gasket. That car died years later. These guys bought I think it was a 99 or 90, it was a 2000 Civic, and I sold the car, and these guys took it to their shop and drove it as a lunch truck or a lunch car until it finally just died. So this right here is not my bread and butter. I just kind of drive it around. I found an old Army helmet, a turtle shell helmet, at the flea market. I painted that. So on this one, I decided to run the cold intake all the way down. Usually I have it right here at this piece, but I put an extra piece and it goes way down in here. You may be able to see it if I have the right spot. Let me see if I can get it. You see it's sitting there now. So it's sitting out much further because I have some air going that way. So it's just something I kind of mess around with. Felt like being outside today. Felt like playing around with my cars. So this is just Will from Bosu, America, playing around, and I can't wait to decal this old helmet up today. Actually, I almost fell on the flip-flop. It's an old turtle shell helmet. They use, I think, might be the Swedes. I don't know who used that helmet. I don't think it was America. I gotta find out because I bought it for a couple bucks. I just felt like buying it. I think the next thing I want to do is some holes in the bumper, just because, like, somewhere here, and there. But for right now, it's just something to play with. And something else that I would like to address. When I was coming up, there was no YouTube. No YouTube at all. YouTube is fairly new to me. It's been around for some years now, but when I was in high school, there was no YouTube. I learned from my dad and other men and people who knew about cars. The one thing I notice a lot is I see some of the worst comments ever. My mother used to say something. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say shit at all. I get so tired of people calling cars rice. Let me explain something to you. I was doing what you guys call rice before it was even called rice. I mean, when you have a family to take care of and you're trying to figure out how you can save a couple bucks after you pay your rent, after you pay your insurances, after you pay your life, your house insurance, and you decide, you know what, you learned something that your dad taught you. One thing, weight reduction is a good way to lose, that's to help your gas mileage. Light racing wheels help your gas mileage. Taking stuff off your car, that was something that I was doing before I even knew what the word rice was. I was like, rice, racing, enhancement, cosmetic. It's like racing inspired cosmetic enhancements. What the fuck is that? To each his own. I can guarantee you any people who talking bad about rice, they did it. That's anything they talk about, they say is rice, they had already did it before. So I hate when people do that. Like, well, that car looks ugly, or that looks like shit. You don't ruin the car. It's like, but it's their car. They ain't saying shit about yours. So let people do what they're gonna do with their own cars and fuck what you got to say. I get so angry when people do that. These are my cars. I do what I want. And if I wanted your opinion, I ask you. But I know that when you put it on YouTube, that you open it up for people saying stuff. But the way I look at it, to each his own. And I know for a fact that anybody that calls a car rice, they were ricing first. They were ricing first. They were. Me, I'm a grease monkey. I've been working on cars as back with like model cars, remote control cars, real cars. I've been working on cars basically my whole life now. And I'm 45 years old. That's what I said. A lot of the stuff they talk about pisses me off because it's like, how dare you talk about someone's car? That's an extension of them. So if you ain't got nothing nice to say, fuck off and don't say anything. Just be like, it's a strange looking car. It is just not your cup of tea. You don't like mustard, you don't eat it. We don't force it down your throat, do we? Alright, this is Will from Bosu America. I'm gonna go upstairs and make some decals. And that's another thing. I'm a sticker guy. I love stickers. Don't care what nobody say. Something I've always liked to do. And when I got a cut on the plot and I was in the commercial art business, I just love making this stuff. And I always will. Alright guys, take care.